Hello friends, I am Nisha Sharma, Associate Professor, Department of English. The topic under discussion today is O.N.V. Kurup's poem Earthen Pots Critical Appreciation. Kottappalakkal Nelakandan Velukuru, known as O.N.V. Kurup, is a prominent Malayalam poet, prose writer, and lyricist from Kerala, India, who won the Jnanapith Award, the highest literary award in India for the year 2007. He received the awards Padma Shri in 1998 and Padma Vibhushan in 2011, the fourth and second highest civilian honors from the Government of India. In 2007, he was awarded an honorary doctorate by University of Kerala, Trivandrum. His works speak on behalf of those in darkness and attempt to break the chains of tyrannical oppression. From 1946, when his first poem, Monotu, was published, he has published prolifically, including works such as Ujjaini and even a collection of poems for children. O.N.V. Kurup was known for his leftist leaning. He was a leader of All India Students Federation. He died on 13th February 2016 at KIMS Hospital in Thiruvananthapuram due to age-related illness, aged 84. The poem Earthen Pot was originally written in Malayalam. It was translated into English by K. Sridharan Nair. Kurup employs the symbol of earthen pots to talk about individuals who are seen as merely a mass and as lacking any significant value in themselves. The poet speaks about the ties that bind these pots together, their attachment to each other, and their sense of loss when one from their midst is taken away. He also examines the notion of their worthlessness and speculates on the possibility of unknown destinies which might just possibly include something very important. Though the metaphor he uses is systematically and consistently that of the mud pots, he imparts greater significance to this light topic by equating the mud pots to human lives and thus enlarging and broadening its scope. Though never stated outright, underlying the entire poem is the concept of man as essentially a thing of earth. The poem is divided into two sections of or stanzas, and though both are about pots, the first section centers onto pots while the second section moves towards to hundreds. The second section concentrates on emphasizing the inherent worth of the pots, even though they are cheap and may easily break. This worth constructed is in terms of their function, their unknown destiny, and their collective unity. The poet, even as he seems to acknowledge the fragility and the inexpensive nature of the pots, he transforms these into virtues. When Kurup writes about the blessed gift of earth, water, clear and pure, he is drawing the reader's attention to not only the nature of the pots, but also contrasting it to other containers and other liquids mentioned earlier. The poet begins with two empty earthen pots which are lying so close as if they are jostling with each other. Then the poet describes not only two earthen pots, but hundreds of them waiting to be sold to the prospective buyer. In the next stanza, the poet talks about the rich people who drink red wine in expensive goblets. The poet feels that they are passing a contemptuous smile towards the earthen pots, for the earthen pots are cheap and fragile and are being used by the poor people. Kuru makes his views clear by saying that one should not judge something just by seeing its outward appearance. The golden goblets, which are expensive and good to look at, contains wine which is harmful for us, whereas the earthen pots, which are simple and may easily break, store within them pure, clear, and unpolluted water, and that is the gift of Mother Nature to mankind. The same thing applies while While passing a judgment on mankind, we should not pay much attention to their outward appearance but to their talents. Kurup talks about the unknown destinies of these pots. Even their creator does not know about their ultimate fate. Out of hundreds of pots lying in the potter's yard, only one is selected by the purchaser, and that too after making quality tests. The remaining pots are filled with a sense of loss and sorrow. They do not know when their turn will come and who will be the next one to lead the group. The poet here equates the earthen pots to human beings. The simile is a good one because the earthen pots and the human beings are made of earth. The Hindu religion believes that the human body is made of five elements, of which one is earth. Just as an earthen pot may be picked by an unknown buyer and lacks an identity, in the same way, a human being's life is also uncertain. We do not know for certain that who will be the next victim of death, and when someone from our group departs, we become sorrowful and lament for him. The poem Earthen Pots speaks to the fact that the pots described in the poem lack identity and significant value given there are many pots about. The poet's Kurup's choice of words used in the poem speaks to the theme of lack of identity or a search for identity. The following words identify the poet's search for identity and knowledge: empty, not quite sure, inexhaustible, dismissals, simply, cheap, hundreds like us, go, lost, and depart. The pot's story, as told within the lines of the poem, explain the fears, apprehensions, and self-doubt the pots feel as they wait to be chosen to be used. Not feeling any different from another, the pots seem to understand what it is like to fail, to have an identity over having one. The pots also understand the difference between themselves and the golden goblets which are used for drinking wine. The pots have been dismissed by those who have chosen the goblets because of their contempt and scorn for the earthen pots. The pots therefore understand the social class structure, the worthlessness associated with being cheap and easily broken, and the lack of individual identity. There are three things that can be said about what is the theme of the poem. Earthen Pots by Ovi and Kuru. It is a very simple yet warm and sensual poem. The first part has a very beautiful and poetic style, and the second part has a more romantic addition to exploring the theme of lack of identity. Kurup also examines the theme of unknown destiny. Throughout the poem, Kurup illustrates indistinguishable earthen pots that are at the mercy of those customers who choose to buy them. The earthen pots question and discuss their destiny as they ponder what tomorrow will bring. Kurup portrays hundreds of earthen pots waiting for an unknown buyer to select them. He mentions that even the makers do not know who will buy each pot. After an unknown buyer selects their desired earthen pot, the other pots on the shelf collectively mourn the loss of the chosen pot. The poem ends with the pots questioning their destiny by asking, when does our turn come to depart? And when it comes, who would be the first to leave? The theme of unknown destiny relates to the other issues presented throughout the poem. The pots are not in control of their lives and are at the mercy of the customers. Unable to determine their own destiny, they passively sit on the shelf and hope they are selected. This lack of control parallels the theme of subordination, worthlessness, and lack of identity. Thus, the poem has a deeper meaning than the surface meaning. The symbols are perfect, and the comparisons between the earthen pots and human beings is most appropriate and suggestive. As the poem is written in blank verse, there is not a fixed rhyme scheme. in it. Thank you.